Like, I can't even express into words the amount of support that I received, the heartfelt messages, the hype, like, it, like, some of them genuinely made me tear up a little bit. Like, I just don't think you guys understand how much I needed that. I know there's some of you that shared that you've also felt some heartbreak, and although going through a breakup can feel very isolating at times, I understand it is not a unique experience, and so if you can relate, yeah, I'm sorry that you went through what you went through, or you're going through what you're going through. We'll get through this, we're getting through this. We're strong, and we're gonna come out the other end even better. I just wanted to sit here and say I really appreciate all the kind words that were said in the comments on my last video. I truly, truly appreciate it. To give a little background, I know there were some like really nosy comments. Like, some people were just very like, what happened? Was it your fault? Was it his fault? Like what was the cause of the breakup? And I just want to say, I would be the same way. Like, I would be very nosy, like, what happened, right? And like, I don't really want to get too into it, but yeah, he had confessed to me that you had been acting single the last half of our 6-year relationship. So, when we finally broke up, call it toxic or not, I am seeing therapists, like, and they support this, so, it works for me. But when we broke up, I was like, I gotta catch up, because you got me messed up. You have been acting single, you've been helping yourself, like, you got your cake and got to eat it too, type of deal. And, you know, I had been telling men not to contact me, or if men were trying to approach me, I was like, oh, I got a man. I had him plastered all over my social medias. He never had the same energy. Like, I'm not gonna get into it. But when we broke up, I had the energy of like, I got some catching up to do. I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, talking to my therapist about this. Therapist supports this. Like, I am doing fine. This has not hindered my progress in any way. But yeah, so I pretty much started dating right away. Because at the same time I just kind of felt like very discarded. Just, he was like, I'm tired of pretending that I only have eyes for you, or that you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Something like that, right? Not traumatizing at all. And so I just kind of had to remind myself, like, you may not want me, but let me open up these DMs and remind myself that you are not the only man on this earth either. Like, I don't know. So yeah, that was pretty much like a little background of like why I started dating so early. Pretty much the week after, I had a date lined up. This guy, like, let's just get right into it, right? So my first date, I don't even know what his name would be. Leonard, Lionel, Wade. Okay, let's do Wade. I don't know. Wade. Okay, Wade. So we'll call him Wade. He's Mexican as fudge, but we'll call him Wade. So Wade was my first date post-breakup, and I'm honestly really, really happy and grateful that he was. He was such a sweetheart, an absolute gentleman. He complimented me. Like, we went on this bar arcade on karaoke night, and he was also from the nonprofit that I volunteer at. That's where I met him, and he had 2 degrees. So he had his undergrad, he had his master's. He was a special ed teacher. He travels constantly, was. And this guy, like I said, very respectful, to the point that like he didn't do anything. And he was like still opened the doors for me. At the end of the date, I was like, alright, it's getting late, I should probably head home. And he was like, okay, like let me walk you to your car. Walks me to my car and we hug goodbye. And that was pretty much it. And then after the fact, he was like, oh, like I got shy, I should have kissed you, like I should have done this and that, like but yeah, after that though, I kind of like, I don't know, like he was so sweet, and I could just kind of tell that he was like, I probably could have hurt the guy if, you know, I know I am emotionally unavailable. I'm not ready for another relationship. I was just kind of going through the motions, just like I love the free dinner, I want to meet new people. I kind of had the hope that he and I could just be friends, I'm not gonna lie, and that's what I propositions, and he basically implied that he would want us to be more than friends, and I was just kind of like, I can't really offer that to you. And so he was like, that's fine. And we've remained cordial. We haven't like purposefully hung out since. I've definitely ran into him around the city. We still say hi to each other. We still like each other's like content on social media. Like it's all good between he and I. Like it was great, and like I said, really happy that he was my first date, because he was just such a good experience. Like good first date, ended pretty well. If we see each other, we're gonna say hi, and if we run into each other, we're gonna party together. Like that's the type of relationship that we have now. But couldn't offer him what he wanted, and yeah, that's fine, right? Second guy ended up in a situationship. And this is the second date that I went on, or was it? I think it was. But there were like many dudes that I would talk to, but like I don't know if I said this yet, but my number one thing with me dating now is I don't care to have conversations over texts, over messages. I don't care for it. If you want to see me, take me out on a date, see me in person, and take me out to dinner. Like I don't want a relationship. Like I'm very okay with something casual, but bare minimum, take me out to dinner first. Show me that like at least you can do that, and like I get to see that you're not a serial killer, and we can move on, right? So the second guy that I went on my second date, we're gonna call him Leon, or Leon, also another Mexican, but also from the nonprofit. But this guy, oh my gosh, red flag, red flag, and I will go into this, but first time, we planned our date, we talked and stuff, and he was like, oh, like I'm really excited to get to know you, I'm really excited for you to get to know me, like these are a little bit, like some things about me, blah blah blah, like really came on kind of strong, but like conversation, yada yada, and he took me to, it was a nice place. When we're planning it, he's like, just come to my place, and then from here, I could drive us to the restaurant, then maybe we could get like something to drink, we can make cocktails back at my place, he ordered me the 12-piece, and then he got me like a 6-piece of this other flavor so that I could try it because that was his favorite. And which, yeah, that was sweet at the time. Like, that's cute, whatever, right? So yeah, like, we get all this food, and I told him, like, I'm not gonna finish it all. Like, do not get mad at me when I just eat 2 little wings and like that's it. I'm exaggerating, but like, for real. Same thing though. We're having a conversation. And it's a really good conversation, but when I tell you guys, at some point, I think we're talking, and he's just like staring at me in a way that you just know thoughts are going on behind those eyes, right? And I just look at it, I'm just like, what? And he's like, you are so beautiful. I love your eyes. And I'm like in my head, I'm like, sir. But like the way that he said it, the way that he was looking at me when he said it, the butterflies, I was like, I was so mad. I was like, I did not come here to fall in love. Relax. Like, but y'all, like, oh, I was swooning. I was internally swooning the way that this guy was like talking to me. He was complimenting me and like wow, like your goals and what you're doing, like you're so smart, like I could tell this and this and that about you, like blah blah blah. And then the way he was talking about himself, like oh yeah, like this is what I got going for me, and these are my goals and blah blah blah. And we finish. We get a few drinks. He pays. Eye roll, biggest eye roll. But this man, like, he pulls out a wad of cash, right, and like grabs a few $100 bill, like $100 bills. He grabs a few of those, tosses them on the table very clearly for me to see, right? And I'm like, okay, big baller. Like, but low-key, that was a good thing that he did that, because I left my real gold glass ring in that restaurant, and they did reserve it. And he was like, good, like I would hope that they would not steal it, because I left a pretty good tip. And I was like, I know you did. But anyways, we ended up going to the grocery store together. As soon as we get into this grocery store, he grabs my hand. He's grabbing my hand. We're walking around this grocery store, and he's holding my hand. And y'all, I had just gone through a breakup a week or 2 prior. I miss that feeling. I was like over the moon, just like excited, because mind y'all, before we went on this date, I told him, I just want to use you as a pretend boyfriend. I want to use you for the dates, like the cuddles and like the movie watching. Like, I want you as a placeholder. I don't actually want a relationship. I just want you for the void that he's missing. Are you okay with that? And he said he was. So he was holding my hand, and I was feeling really happy. We were walking around the store. He was like getting me whatever I wanted. We get our drinks, we go back to his place, and we just like continue having a nice long conversation. Like, nothing happened that day, night. Nothing happened that date night. But like, again, really great conversations. The way that he was treating me, the way that he was talking to me, I was like, I need to remember not to fall in love. Like, that's how this man made me feel. So we kept talking for a while, and like I would go over to his place. You know, we would spend time together, watch movies together. We'd go on dates. Like, things were going well until this man started catching feelings, and I kept telling him, like, I was like, dude, like, remember what I said. I'm just like not here for that. I remember there was one time, damn it, I'm not gonna get to the other guys, but there was one time I was in this bed, right, and I put his phone down. I put my food in the cart and I put his phone down. And I lay back. And I'm on my own phone. I forgot what this guy was doing. He walked away and then he came back. Like, mind you, he like opened the door and he's like, "You're going through my phone, aren't you?" And I was like, I was in my phone and I was like, "Your phone's over there." Like, and when I tell you guys, he looked so sad. He looked so sad. He was like, "Oh, did you go through it?" And I look at him and I was like, "No, you're not my man." And he was so sad. He was like, "Oh, okay." And I was just kind of like, "Dude, like, do we have to have this conversation again?" And he's like, "No, like, that's fine, whatever." And like, he places the order, we move on, right? Super Bowl night comes around and he's like, "Oh, me and my bros and I are gonna watch the game and they're gonna bring their girls, like, do you want to come with?" And I was like, "They're not gonna mind that I'm like not actually your girlfriend, they're not gonna ask questions." He's like, "Nah, like, they don't care." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go." His exact wording was like, okay, maybe not exact wording, but he used the word bros, like, "My bros and I are getting together to watch the game." In my head, men call friends bros, right? Women call their friends bros. I thought he and his friends and their girls were getting together to watch this game at his place. He meant his actual brothers. His actual brothers. I was meeting his family. I get there and he's like, "Yeah, this is my brother, blah blah blah." And I was like, like sibling or your bro?" And he's like, "No, my sibling. And my sister's coming too. Oh, and my parents actually said that they might stop by." Sir, what? What? Like, this is not relaxing at all, right? I'm sorry, but so I'm sitting there and I'm like, "I'm meeting your family." And he's like, "Yeah, but don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh my god, did y'all, like, I met his family." And mind you, the whole time, he's holding me, he's grabbing my hand, it's like getting me drinks. Oh my gosh. Wait, okay. At some point, I'm trying really hard to control myself right now, but at some point, he's like asking everyone, like, what do we want? Do we want like more drinks? Blah blah blah. Like, okay. And it was like a lot of drinks that he was gonna get back from the kitchen, so I was like, "I'll go with you. I'll help you." just saying, you are gonna make me your girlfriend, we're gonna get married, I'm gonna, like, he's already making business plans with me, like, in his head, because I have agreed to none of this. This entire time, I have been like, stop it, stop it, stop it. This is not true. This is fake. I'm not falling for this. Like, you need to relax. I don't feel the same way. If you can't control yourself, I'm gonna leave. And yeah, no, like, I have since left that man alone. And I think he's fine. And there were other things too, where like, he was just very immature. Very immature. He would try to make me jealous. Clearly, right, with the phone thing, but like, I'm not even gonna get into everything that he did, but just know it was some childish stuff, which I didn't care, because again, I was just wanting someone that whenever I wanted to be held, I had someone to hold me. If I wanted someone to take me out to dinner, I had someone to take me out to dinner, because I was missing my ex very strongly at the time. I thought I had found someone that was okay with me kind of using them a little bit, and they weren't. As soon as I realized that, I let them go shortly after. But also, don't feel bad for him. He's toxic, and like, that was like very, very childish. He has some growing up to do, and like, that's okay. I guess I'm part of his journey now. I don't know, but I think I have time for one more story of the open relationship guy. We're gonna name him Rafa, because he was so damn fine. This man was delicious. Oh god, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that he was who he was, but he was so darn good looking. Oh, and I know he's mad at this too, because I was gonna say he was perfect, but like, he fit a lot of the check boxes. Like, he was fine as hell. He was so good looking. He was tall. He had an amazing job. He was like an electrical engineer, or like some type of engineer. I don't know. He worked downtown, and so did I at the time. Like, my campus was downtown, and so he asked me out to lunch. That was the day after Valentine's Day that we planned this lunch. And oh my gosh, y'all, I don't think I'm gonna have time for the story time, but you know what, I'll make it. This will be a long video, restaurant. He hugs me, hello. Fine as hell. We sit, like, the waitress sits us down, and I was kind of like, yeah, this is my date, right? Like, in my head. But also realizing this man got a girlfriend, motherfucker. Like, what is he gonna tell me in person? Like, I'm gonna bring it up right after this meal. So we sit down, the waitress comes, and she's like, oh, is this like a late Valentine's Day celebration? And we look at each other, we like pause, and I look at the waitress, and I was like, no, it's just lunch. And he's like, it can't be. And like the waitress is just kind of like, okay, like, do we need a minute to look at the menu, blah, blah, like all that stuff. And I'm just like, what do you mean this is a late Valentine's Day dinner, like, or lunch? Like, you got a girlfriend. I don't bring it up yet, because again, I'm trying to enjoy my free meal first. Like, right, so waitress leaves, and it was a pretty great, like, lunch date. We have really great conversations. He's very nice, he's very interesting. He does all the right things. He asks me questions, I ask him questions. The conversation is pretty easygoing. We're laughing, we're having a great time. And I order a messy ass burger. I order fries. I pick off fries off his plate. Like, I don't care. You're in a relationship. I don't have to impress you. Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty confident on this date because I don't want this man anymore. After that, we wrap it up. He pays for it, and I'm pretty sure it was expensive. And so we leave. The restaurant was amazing. It was nice. I love that place. Anyway, everything was delicious. Side note, right? So we leave, and his restaurant, his office is like right around the corner from the restaurant. So I just drop him off before I go to my job. But as we're walking to his job, I was like, so because he's over here, like, I had a great time, I can't wait to do this again, and so like I'm like, I just want to make sure, like, are you seeing anyone? And he gets quiet, and he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? And I was like, what, like, are you in a relationship? And he's like, well, I am kind of like dating someone. The disrespect, y'all. I'm just, oh. So I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, I can't really like see you if you're dating someone, like if you're in a relationship. And he was like, well, it's not really that serious, like we're more of like an open relationship type of situation. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, like we kind of like can do whatever we Sir, I thought you were in an open relationship. Yeah, but like, kind of, we just kind of have like an unspoken agreement. Oh, what? And so I was like, I don't understand. And so I was like getting upset a little bit for this poor girl. Because I'm like, what the So I'm like, what do you mean? Blah, blah, blah. He wasn't spilling it. He was like, oh, you know, I think I just kind of brought it up one time and we haven't really spoken about it since. And so I was like, hold on. Because mind you, an open relationship takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot for two people to agree. What are the boundaries? What do we accept? What do we not accept? Who is on? Who is off limits? Like, it takes a lot to agree to an open relationship. So the fact that he's like, oh, we had this one conversation and yeah, we haven't had to talk about it since, that didn't sit right with me. So I was like, is this on some if you're playing me, keep it on the low type of situation? You know what he said? He was like, yeah, exactly. I said, fuck you. And I blocked him. Because what the fuck? Like, that breaks my heart because that's what my ex did to me. Like, I just because you lied to me and didn't tell me about it doesn't mean I was okay with it. If you knew that you had brought it up to me and it would make me upset, that's your indication that it's not okay. So the fact that this guy was like, yeah, she knows that it's gonna hurt her if she knows, so I don't talk about it. And yeah, I could say more on the topic, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. So Rafa was huge disappointment. Just kind of like, I blocked him, right? He, to this day, he is still harassing my friend. Wait, can you tell, like, can you tell her, like, we need to talk about this? Like, I just want to see her again. I can explain. Blah, 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 blah. Like, he is still harassing my friend. I don't know why my friend doesn't block him. Like, that's a different story. Like, she is a different story.